All right. Welcome, Speed Gaming. Once again, with these back-to-back matches, we have the Super Metroid Any Percent Tournament for SG Live 2021. Once again, my name is Eddie, and with me is Professor School, and we have this excellent match coming up with Gebbu versus Zmusic. Professor School, what are your thoughts?
Eddie, we had about 2 minutes to mute our microphones, stand up, grab a drink of water, and come back to the comms booth. That's about as much time as Zmusic had. I cannot imagine coming off that high, an incredible race, a stressful race, a huge win over a formidable tournament opponent in Kip, and now right back at it. And it does not get any easier, because before he was facing someone just outside of the top 10, and now Zmusic is staring down our newest top 10 member, 42-14, a PB from 3 weeks ago. Gebbu from Norway has been crushing it in this tournament, and I expect that we are going to get another classic. Eddie, how are you feeling? Have you recovered at all from the first race?
I don't think I'll recover for a while from that last race. That was neck and neck. If you haven't watched the Kip vs. Zmusic, I strongly recommend watching it because, as you know, Zmusic coming out the victor, but that was a really, really good race with a dramatic end in the with a dramatic finish in the end. But you know what? We have two really, really strong runners here, and you know what, Prof? Do you know how I feel about both these runners? Do you know what kind of like what my mindset is right now?
Tell me, Eddie. I want to hear it.
So I've said this before, but I didn't really know about Gebbu until the start of this race. And then Gebbu comes out of nowhere and basically PBs by 40 seconds and is going for that 41. And, you know, after a little bit of talking, I heard that Lynx was the one that convinced. Lynx, being the #1 seed of this tournament and the 41 runner, brought Gebbu into this tournament. And whenever Lynx talks about Gebbu, Lynx says, "I'm scared of Gebbu." And when you're talking about someone like Lynx saying, "I'm scared of this runner," that's why every time I see the name Gebbu now, I just immediately think, I hear a JRPG boss music happening in the background. Like, this guy is like so crazy. He has monster paces. He has 41 paces on the regular. And you know, Zmusic getting knocked into that losers bracket early, like really early basically, because he had to play Imit early on and then fighting his way up, playing 5 million matches just to get to this point of the losers semifinal. In my eyes here, Zmusic is sort of like that anime protagonist, fighting his way up from the bottom to make it up, and now he's fighting this extremely tough final, like one of these like really dangerous bosses, and this is just going to be such an amazing match. I'm so excited. Both of these runners are so strong.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's actually recap this, because Imit missing on posting a qual time ended up being randomized among the bottom seeds, and as a result, in just the first full round of the tournament, was up against Zmusic and took a win there. Zmusic then needing to, as you say, come back through and win against ProPierce RTA, against Simo, against P-Toil, against Apathy Duck, against Stachio, and then again the rematch against Imit, winning that one. And what do you get as a prize for all of those wins? You have to face Kit. And as we already alluded to, one of the best races that we have had in recent memory. Zmusic pulling it out, coming into the backdoor semifinal in this huge showdown against Gebbu, who, as you mentioned, Lynx and a few other top runners have pegged for a future 41 club member. It's unbelievable. You can't ask for anything more with just 4 runners remaining in this tournament. Of course, the other 2 being Lynx and Sloters, who are waiting in the wings. Incredible. Absolutely incredible, Eddie.
For sure, absolutely incredible. I mean, honestly, like, this Any Percent tournament is literally like a sports anime like style script right now, with what's going on with these runners just, you know, getting knocked into the losers bracket, and in the end we have some incredible matches, just making it way all the way. I'm at a loss for words. These matches are just so incredibly competitive, and I'm just super excited to watch.
Yeah, I fully expect, based on what we saw in the last tournament, now getting into a little bit of the minutiae here, Zmusic ran 15:10 against Kip. He is now facing someone whose PB is 14 seconds better. I do not expect that strategy to change. I think 15:10 is probably what we're going to see here again from Zmusic. Not totally sure what to expect from Gebbu. Definitely has a little bit of time to give up against Zmusic, but not really a lot. It's going to be everything that you got in this race to get these two runners through.
Yes, absolutely. So Zmusic taking a little bit of a stumble in that climb, but it recovered pretty much, as fast as you possibly can. Now, Kip in the previous match has alluded to the fact that Zmusic has a strong early game, and that is true. That being said, Gebbu is also known for his extremely strong early games. Coming out with incredible gravity times all the way up to that point. So it's going to be exciting to see these two players, Gebbu taking a little bit of a lead right there, Kip right behind with that 4:47 bombs time.
Yeah, and so we mentioned how Zmusic got here. Let's take a quick look at the bracket. Also, Gebbu, I think, just narrowly avoided getting into this backdoor bracket in the first place, posting wins against I Am Mr. Fox, P Toil, and then actually facing Kip. They were within, I think, about a second and a half of each other going into baby skip, and then Gebbu unfortunately missing the baby skip, and that was pretty much GG at that point. So Gebbu almost had the chance to see that rematch against Kip, but instead it'll be Zmusic in this redemption bracket, and I don't know. I mean, it's a tail flip at this point. You could call who's gonna win this race.
Sure. So we have both players neck and neck right now, going up this Alcatraz, and we'll be heading over to Terminator and a Brinstar.
Something we didn't see in the first race. Both runners, Z and Kip, were using that auto fire strat. Gebbu opting for a slightly faster Terminator here, going for that arm pump and executing it very nicely.
Z missing a missile right there, so he's going to have to go for a little extra farm potentially, or do some P shooter strats going into that early Brin.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the extra farm, and actually got a little bit hecked by the first pirate, so cost, instead of 1 second, maybe 2.5, something like that.
Now, when you're talking about getting hecked by a pirate, Gebbu coming out with no farm here. Oh no, that is not what he wants. Okay, so Gebbu's... he's going to want to grab that health. Okay, so Gebbu is just going to, fall through the bugs. We'll probably just do a little KO, but losing a little bit of time that where it looks like he just got no drops on the pirate. I was wondering if that's ever going to happen to someone in the tournament, and looks like it happened to Gebbu, unfortunately, at this stage of the game too. But, he's definitely a little bit behind, but has plenty of time to make all that time up.
Yeah, and so it's sort of a tale of different RNGs here. We saw some of the Batun and Dragon RNG differences. We had totally similar Fantoon patterns in the last race. Zmusic actually was the one who benefited from a little bit of luck there in the Green Brin main shaft in the race against Kip, right? Taking the bump off the bug and getting some very, very fortunate drops in order to stay tight with Kip in the early parts of that race. And Gebbu just not getting as fortunate, having some real RNG issues despite good play. That's just how it happens sometimes in Super Metroid.
Prof, I gotta say, if there was like an unluckiest player award in this tournament that would be given to the players, I would have to give it to Gebbu, having probably the most atrocious drops I've ever seen in his match against MGA when it came to Turian, losing basically 2 minutes at almost no fault of his own. That being said, I did get a peek at Gebbu's chat when that happened. He said, "I'm tilted now. That was the worst thing I've ever seen." So, getting no missiles from those pirates it's very unlikely for that to happen. So we'll see if Gebbu gets a little angry off that one, uses that to fuel his play right now to make up the time, because he is an absolute monster when it comes to this game. Nice bug boost by Gebbu. So Gebbu taking no little missteps right now, even getting through that basically on the bottom pixel of that door. You want to enter that room in the CAC room, because the lower you enter that door, the faster the door transition will end up being. Ooh, Z taking a little bit of a fall in that red tower. That's not what you want to see. Z really wants to maintain as much of a lead as possible when it comes to runners of this caliber, but Z still has the advantage at the moment.
Yeah, and it looks like it'll end up being actually a pretty significant time loss, unfortunately, due to that one bad set of drops from the Pirates. They're about a 15-second swing just from that alone. Maybe a little bit less, maybe 10 or 12. But definitely more than an item fanfare. Certainly nothing that Fantoon can't equalize very quickly with one wave of his RNG wand.
For sure. Ooh, Z taking a little bomb from that cactus. Now, if the particle hits you, that's not really as bad, but you really don't want to take the hit from the body of the cactus because now Zmusic's health is not looking too hot. You know, Fantoon will hit you for 40 each, so ideally you have at least 121 or so you're very safe in that Fantoon, but you know, both of these runners are very strong. I don't expect any issues. So Z will be the first to head into the moat. No CWJ attempt for Z, and we'll see if Gebbu can get the CWJ attempt. No CWJ attempt for either runner, so they will have to do the HBJ jump across the moat. Ooh, Z taking a fall in the moat. Oof. All right, and just like that, Gebbu getting across first try. So Z has some time to make up at this point. Gebbu taking the lead right now.
Ooh,
He's
Z.
in some trouble with the moat right now.
Not able to get that in-room set up. Oh, and another dip in the moat.
Yeah,
unfortunate for Z there.
This is new route for you. This is one of the reasons why a lot of players, when they're switching from KPDR to new route, this is probably one of the rooms that scares them the most because the consistency. I mean, Z being an absolute elite runner coming to the finals and tournaments, you can see the trouble that he's having right now in the moat. Moat can conquer anyone in any stage of the game, but Z gets across just now, but has a good amount of time that he has to make up to Gebbu.
Yeah, that is brutal, brutally unfortunate. Z managing to rein it in, though, and not let this get completely away from him. This is absolutely still a race, folks. A third try across the moat, definitely costing Z a fair amount of time, but this is far from over. We are just entering our Fantoon fight here for Gebbu on the left side of your screen. No fast. Let's see what we're going to get. There's a mid.
5 missile Doppler.
Yeah, I think that was only 5.
Gebbu absolutely can. Oh, is that enough missiles? He can do it. Oh!
Wow!
6 missiles. He needed a 6 missile Doppler. Had exactly 6 missiles there.
Are you kidding?
Flushes that out. Was that a mid fast? That was a,
it was a mid fast.
Really good Fantoon.
Yep.
All right, we have Z heading over to the Fantoon. We got another mid right here.
Letting Fantoon go off screen here. Oh no, Z having a little issue there. It was only 2 or 3 before Fantoon went off. But look at these identical patterns again, 2 races in a row. But because of that first Doppler, Z forced to go for a third round. Hopefully doesn't get hecked with that less likely slow pattern. Yeah, okay, got the mid.
Promise to the viewers right now that we did not give them rigged ROMs to have the same Fantoon patterns happening in the previous match as well as this one. This is just pure RNG. The game wanted to give them an even chance, and yeah, this is really incredible. So we have Z finishing up the Fantoon fight, and Gebbu is going to be entering the attic. Low on that missile count.
Oh no, that missile not connecting with the atomic.
Yeah, he's gonna have to use supers here. Oh yeah, this is a very weird situation for Gebbu. I think he's kind of uncomfortable with what's going on right now. Oh, takes that hit too.
Oh, and Kojak's a super into the ceiling.
Oh my gosh.
Down to 48 health, has to avoid this atomic.
Oh!
Okay. Gebbu survives that room, but the resource is going from 264 down to 013 and sitting on 68 health. Farming is going to be absolutely necessary here in order to survive bowling.
Yeah, I mean, Gebbu is just going to have to have a date with this bug for a really long time. He's just going to sit here and farm this bug probably for a really, really long time. I mean, Zmusic is significantly behind, but this is...
Holy smokes. I mean, it was about a 45 to 50 second different kill time. On the other hand, though, Zmusic absolutely needing a clean attic here to capitalize, and it looks like he's going to get it. Yeah, I mean, a little hiccup at the end there, but a very, very nicely done attic, and that is going to be a big time save for Zmusic.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, you could see how much of an advantage that Gebbu actually got, having to farm right there for so long, but still has that advantage on Z, but honestly, that is not the time loss that Gebbu wants to get, because every second that Z gets closer, that puts more pressure on Gebbu. I mean, if Gebbu had a huge lead, he could even take safety saves randomly and have that peace of mind, or grab an extra E tank. Maybe Z wouldn't have been able to get that Ridley E tank, and Gebbu would just be able to pick it up for free and have a free lower North for escape. But I mean, as it stands, with Gebbu having that really bad attic, I mean, I think the missiles kind of messed him up as well. Only 2 missiles. You typically want to have a few, and that initial flub on the power bomb with his fast strat. Yeah, things just kind of went wrong. But Gebbu still has a lead, and we still have a great race.
Yeah, look at that. About a 14:22 touch. It was 45 seconds. It's going to be considerably less. Gebbu was low on health there. Did manage to get the hole in 2. Zmusic close behind, though. Yeah, 45 to 50 second difference has now amounted to only about 15 seconds, maybe 16 or 17. It's absolutely unbelievable, the swings that this run has already had in it.
Yep. So Gebbu does not want to touch this crab. It's always a spooky part of the run. Those crabs do quite a bit of damage. I think he would have survived, but yeah, don't want to ever take the hit. Get that health bomb and lose out on the supers, because honestly, Gebbu's super count is struggling. You can see he has those missiles selected. He will farm both of these cacks because he needs all the supers that he can get for the upcoming rooms. All right, so sick double D boost strat from Gebbu. That's a very hard second D boost to land, and is doing all the optimal strats here. The red tower moonfalls will not have to farm any sort of power bombs here. Yeah, so far Gebbu playing pretty much optimally. Oh, not getting that door, but that's okay.
So, Eddie, you can speak to this a little bit better, having much more experience with Fantune first routes than I do. What do these resources look like? I mean, the supers are pretty even, but there's a pretty large discrepancy in the missile count. How does that affect the runner going into Lower Norfair? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So the missile count should not be that big of a deal. The super missile count is definitely, it's pretty much, you just want as many supers as you can get going into Ridley, because this is really what it comes down to. There's one little farm spot that you have. There's some Sovas that can potentially drop supers, but ideally, you know, the ideal situation, of course, is to have 10 supers leaving the speed booster bug farm, the Batcave farm, and you know, that doesn't solve all the problems, because in the end, you do have to rely on the metal pirates prior to entering that Ridley to give you the supers that you need to really max out your supers. But for every missed super that you have, that is 2 more charge shots that you have to do on Ridley, and so that's seconds that are going to be lost. The supers really saving a lot of time on the Ridley fight. But not only do you save that time, but the longer that Ridley fight goes on, the more of a chance you have to take hits, and the more of a chance you have to die. And even if you take hits and you come out with low HP, what that will mean is that lower Norfair escape, where we've seen many runners die before, you have a much higher chance of dying. So you may have to either do a backup farm, grab the E-tank. So lots of repercussions as a result of not having supers that really extend, you know, many really down the line. All the supers that you have right now is going to extend all the way to that lower Norfair point. So Gebbu did miss that E-tank on the way out, but so he'll no problem. He'll just pick it up right now. And Zmusic hot on his tail right now.
Yeah, it's a slight loss. Maybe, I can't remember, I calculated once, maybe 70 or 80 frames to go and pick it up. You don't have the momentum obviously carrying you through, but that is only going to pull this race just a little bit closer right now. This has really been a race of very large swings, as opposed to the last race. I feel like the runners were just on top of each other pretty much the entire time, and the swings were very minimal. We've had some big swings so far. The green pirates drop, which someone calculated as 8% chance of that happening. Then the moat for Z, and then the attic for Gebbu. And as a result, we have ourselves a very, very close race despite those massive swings.
It's interesting because, you know, Kip that we had in the previous run, you know, is kind of known as like that master of consistency. Meanwhile, Gebbu and Z, I think, are probably noted. They are both. You can tell kind of by the strats what kind of player that these runners are. And Gebbu and Zmusic both typically will go for very, very optimal strats, like the hardest ones. You saw in the attic, Gebbu had problems with that attic, but that's also partially because he does the hardest attic strat in New Route, which is laying that power bomb, rolling very slightly, and trying to thread a needle on a missile shot. And unfortunately, it didn't work out. But I mean, when you're going for those elite times, a lot of these runners will want to do these world record level strats, and maybe it's a little bit riskier in the race setting, but it just goes to show what kind of times that these runners are going to be pushing and what kind of mishaps can happen as a result of it.
And of course, despite all of the risk inherent in it, the skill of these runners showing through not only on screen, but just in the fact that, with an incredibly talented field in this tournament, these are the final 4 runners, right? Lynx and Sloters waiting in the wings in the front door final. Here's Gebbu and Zmusic waiting to see which of them advances to try to push their way back up into the top of this bracket. And despite all of the hiccups, despite all of the problems that they may have had along the way, these are the final 4 standing, right, in a very talented field. So huge props to both of these runners for being able to execute and get to this point, even in the first place.
So we saw Gebbu and Z both picking up a little farm on the way out. Unfortunately, Zmusic got none while Gebbu got 2. So Gebbu might be able to... Ooh, doesn't get the shot on the door. But Gebbu is going to farm here. We'll see how many supers he decides to grab to continue on. Oh my gosh, Gebbu actually getting hooked up. And we'll see if Z can get those resources that he needs.
4 supers and 2, that was really, really nice. And let's see...
Okay.
2 in the first one.
Oh,
none on
there.
None on the second. Oh dear.
All right. Okay.
So 4 farms there. It's a little bit of a time loss.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess in the end, if you think about what happened to Gebbu in the beginning, it would be a little unfair if Gebbu continuously got no supers in that situation and Z got it.
Well,
so.
let's see what happens here, because despite those farming differences, I expect, and there it is, Gebbu picking up and going 2015, just like in the last race, Kip doing the same, Zmusic making up the full item fanfare there, skipping that, and is now cut the lead in about half.
Yeah, so we'll have to point out that both of these runners, when they are going for PB attempts, both of these runners do go 15-10. But Gebbu understanding that this is a race, and basically your chances of just soft locking at Mother Brain and losing your race is just so much more likely as a result of running 2010. Opts to get that because it is a good race decision, but Z playing his own game, deciding, you know what, this is Gebbu. I'm just going to play my game. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to play the way that I'm used to playing, and, decides to go for that 15-10, and, he doesn't need that time to save at this point.
All right, let's see Lava Spark attempt here from Gebbu. Looks clean.
Nerve-wracking point of the game. Oh,
nice
no!
Oh, no! Just too far right. Maybe a tile too far right.
It just gets the Lava Spark.
Oh, just enough for Z. Holy smokes.
Oh my gosh. So, Z taking the lead, and this is so significant because Gebbu only has 99 health.
Yeah, and maybe that's, I think, Z's first lead since the Green Pirate mishap for Gebbu early on in this race. And so just like that, 45 seconds behind coming out of Fantoon, Zmusic has retaken the lead. We have an absolute barn burner in our hand, folks. This is incredible.
Oh my gosh, Prof, I'm so scared right now. Lower Norfair is always scared, but Z has great health. Meanwhile, Gebbu, I don't think he can actually spark across here. Is he gonna do it? Oh my gosh, Gebbu's gonna die. Goodness. He's got 1 health from dying, 1 hit from dying.
Come on, Gebbu. Okay, there are the iframes. The jump is good. Over the pirate.
You know what? It looks like Z also took a hit, but Z does have 2 hits for the most part. Gebbu cannot make any mistakes, and he can't even take a hit in the wasteland because he doesn't have 40 health.
We're all waiting on bated breath here. Okay.
Oh, goodbye, super for Z.
Through Amphitheater.
Gebbu really wants to get some health here.
Let's get some drops here.
Oh my
goodness.
Was
that a nothing and a small health? What was that?
I think he got a super there, but Gebbu can't make any mistakes in this wasteland. Zmusic as well. This is the last dangerous part before they get a resource refill. Oh, Zmusic
and Z taking a hit off the hopper.
But he's okay. Oh!
Ooh! Getting underneath that Despiga. Okay. Holy smokes. Folks, hold on to your butts. No! Oh!
He taking a hit on the metal pirate on the way out, thought he was safe, but in the end, gets hit by the metal pirates. He started restarting right away. But that's so unfortunate that that's what happened right there.
It was just, it looked like just frames too early in order to hitbox through that pirate for Z. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, that's so unfortunate. So yeah, this is such a significant lead at this point. Z immediately restarting this match to see if there's any chance of catching up. But Gebbu will be heading over to this Ridley fight, and oh, that's just so unfortunate. I think Z taking that sigh of relief that he made it through the wasteland, the most dangerous part where he could potentially die, and then probably just for 1 second, just because he felt like relieved, took his guard off. Nothing in LN hits you for lightly, and that metal pirate taking that shot a little bit too early, so he wasn't able to run through. Unfortunately, gets Z and knocks him out into back into series, or not back into series, but back to the start of the game.
Yeah, it was the extra Deskiga hit in Wasteland right before that made taking damage from that pirate absolutely not an option. Gosh, and as a result, Zmusic now back, starting again from the ship. Obviously should continue playing. This is not a given yet, but boy, it puts Z in just an absolutely huge hole.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, it's just such unfortunate circumstances. Gebbu making really short work of that Ridley fight, even though he didn't get all the X Factors that he'd like. But I mean, at this point, Gebbu is probably going to take a bunch of safeties just to ensure that he doesn't get any sort of death. Yeah, just going for that Ridley E tank for this victory.
This makes a lot of sense. Even with this health, there's just no reason to risk it at this point.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, just Lore Norfair, you can have as much health as you want, and there's always a chance you could die in Lore Norfair. The Key Hunter's all hitting you for 50 damage, and it's just bad things can happen. So Gebbu wisely chooses to just grab that E-Tank to have this clean Lore Norfair escape going on to that crate fight.
Yeah, a nicely handled Ridley fight, as you pointed out. It looked like one power bomb less than necessary for that 4 X Factor setup. I don't know how many Gebbu normally goes for, but bailing after the first one and deciding to take it safer, or maybe it was the setup that was screwed up. I'm not 100% sure. But then executing the rest of the fight very, very nicely, getting a clean kill, and then picking up that safety.
Absolutely. So we have Gebbu heading out of that Lower Norfair, gets that nice little speedball, really well executed, and yeah, I mean, you're about to see. So Gebbu doing a little bit of manipulation here, moving right and left, and that's because he wants to get this first key hunter right here in a spot where he can jump over, and hopefully these 2 key hunters, yes, are split. So that is, I can't stress enough how hard that trick is. So hard that runners of the 42 caliber often say that, you know what, if you get hit by one of those key hunters, that's kind of expected, and not getting hit is sort of a bonus. That's how hard that trick can be. So Gebbu will have plenty of health to get through all this, but this is the final dangerous point of Lorna for the 3 Musketeers. Getting this mock ball. Don't want to grab that ledge too tightly, because that left key hunter will decide to continue going right, and executes this room perfectly.
Yeah, nicely done there. Gebbu should be on cruise control. I would expect to see him pick up the Batoon tank as well here. There's no reason to take any risks if you're watching the restream going into Dragon.
Yes, for sure.
The last thing you want, right, is to have something silly happen, lose a little bit of health coming out of Batoon, and then wind up in a situation where you're going to take a silly death to chain damage or something like that.
Yes, I think we could also expect maybe Gebbu at some point to take a save, just to ensure that if something catastrophic were to happen, he would still maintain that lead. But I mean, Prof, I gotta say, yeah, so save right here. This guarantees that if he takes some sort of crazy death, even if he doesn't save at some point, he will be 28 minutes already into the run. But Prof, I gotta say, like, for those that were just tuning in, Lower Norfair in PRKD, I am actually shocked that we haven't had more deaths in this tournament. It's just such a hard run, and especially, I mean, one of the reasons why we may not have seen as many deaths is that when someone takes an advantage, they actually just have to grab that. Sometimes they just grab the safety because it's so dangerous, and so many runs are lost at that lower Norfair section that it doesn't matter how good of a runner you are. When you're pushing those really, really fast times, especially in a race where you have to play against someone as strong as Gebbu, I mean, it's just anything can kill you in lower Norfair. This is not a slight against Z. That's just kind of how Super Metroid any percent works. It really just goes to show how crazy the speedrun is at the top. It's an absolute behemoth to just get anywhere near the top of the leaderboards in this category and in this game in general.
I couldn't agree more. The swings were huge in this race compared to the more nuanced things that we were seeing in the race before this. And that last swing was the biggest. We had an 8% drop chance for the Green Pirates. We had a 3 chance moat for Z. We had just a complete collapse in attic for Gebbu, but just managing to survive and farm up enough to survive moat, or bowling, I should say. Then that lava spark issue where Z suddenly was able to retake the lead, and then that Tuskegee and the Metal Pirate hitbox. And just like that, you see Zmusic back on the right side of your screen, making their way through to Fantune again. Unbelievable, huge swings in this one here. I don't know what to say.
Yes, for sure. I mean, it's amazing how when you're speedrunning a game like this, that reset button is really easy to hit. You can just nail that reset button. Oh, I got a bomb time I'm not happy with. I'm just gonna hit that reset. Oh, that series elevator. I got a 443 on the series elevator. That's not good enough. I'm gonna hit that reset button. I'm just gonna, it's free. So very often when you're going for those elite PB times, you can almost argue at the highest level. Well, if I were to make a 20-second mistake, I might not have a chance on PB. So what is the point of me practicing some sort of backup for something like, a Dragon fight that's going horribly wrong? What's the point of me practicing that when if it goes horribly wrong, I lose 1 minute, I'm just gonna hit the reset button. Well, in a race setting, you don't have that convenience. You have to adapt with it, and just scary things can happen. And in this case, Zmusic made it out just fine, and it's just that one lapse. I think just that one moment where he let his guard down, and the Metal Pirate just got him right there. It was just so unfortunate. All right, so we have Gebbu getting that X Factor.
Now, that was a very interesting setup. Maybe this is a little bit too in the weeds here, but oftentimes setting up that decalled X Factor, you run all the way over to the right side of that wall, and then you end up turning around after you make your straight jump. Gebbu actually jumping early to create a different sort of timing. It's a very nuanced strat, and I'm sure different runners have come up with different ways to try to standardize that. This is actually something that I've had a lot of discussions about with some different runners, Kip and a few others. That's a really interesting approach. I'm going to have to take a look at how Gebbu set that up, because that is different from what I'm used to seeing for that DX factor.
Yes, for sure. I mean, Kip himself also has, I would say, quote unquote, like a stranger looking X Factor, because he hugs the right wall for a little bit longer than most, and then kind of scoots left when he gets towards the bottom part of his jump. So I think the main nuance for that X Factor is that you have to be shooting upon entering the room.
That's right.
And then as long as you have your X Factor starting somewhere in kind of like that bottom right quadrant area, as long as you're not on the ground or on the wall, as long as you're kind of in that bottom right quadrant, you will be able to land the X Factor. So you could even do something like a walk into the room with a charge and then do a little short hop on the right side and just time it, and you could still nail the X Factor on that side. But yeah, everyone has a little bit of a different setup there, and that's why Super Metroid is such an amazing game.
Well, and there's a lot to that, right? I mean, if you down grab the platform coming into the room or not, your entrance speed is going to be a little bit different. When you turn around, you're delaying that X Factor off the charge. There's a lot that goes into that. In the meantime, Gebbu executing very nicely on Dragon. The extra E-Tank wouldn't have mattered, but there was a little bit of extra chain damage there. So I think very good decision still to both save and get that extra E-Tank, and Gebbu through now on their way to G4.
Unfortunately, it looks like Fantune got the better of Zmusic in that one. Just taking him out. I'm not sure if he had the requisite health or if the eye opened. He got chain damaged by those blue sparks.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, not making it through that fight as well.
Yeah, that'll probably be all she wrote. Gebbu going to be able to get through, and regardless of what happens with the resources, I think take that safety save before Mother Brain and finish this one out without any problem.
Yep. So we have Gebbu heading over to that G4 in prime position to finish off this game. It doesn't have the greatest resources, but we'll expect that he'll either farm or do some sort of ship refill just to make sure that he can complete this game and not get destroyed by the Turian drops. Nice little mock ball there for Gebbu.
Yeah, and I'm checking on the bracket right now. I think correctly pointed out by Kip that Z may have actually had more wins than anyone else in the tournament. I'm taking a quick look over it now. Z bowing out of this tournament with a record of 7-2. I'm not sure anyone else has won 7 matches so far. Of course, if you're going just through the front door of that winner's bracket, you have considerably fewer matches. Z, because of that early loss to Imit in that second round, needing to come all the way up with 7 wins through that back door. Absolutely incredible performance to get this far and to beat some real quality runners. The last 4 runners, Timo, Imit, Kip, and Gebbu. I mean, that is an incredible setup for Zmusic to have to face all of those runners back to back.
Absolutely. I mean, Zmusic just, yeah, an incredible runner overall. I mean, being able to knock out Kip from the loser's bracket. Kip, probably one of the people that people thought had a very, you know, if you had to put your money on some runners in this tournament, Kip is one of the runners that is extremely strong, extremely practiced in races. One of the strongest runners that we have in this tournament, and for Zmusic to, you know, win that match is just really goes to show how strong his ability is, how good he is, and you know, just 7 matches in a row. You know, you said 7 wins. I mean, how many matches total to get through that far and to make it this far? You know, it doesn't matter who your opponent is. You could be playing a runner that's significantly weaker than you, and you can just die. And if that happens, then it's over. But Z, with his consistency into this tournament, I mean, just making it this far, absolutely amazing. Zmusic in chat saying he was shocked how much damage those metal pirates would do. We'll chalk it up to that. I think Z feeling really good. Just wanted to give that metal pirate a high five. And fortunately, the metal pirate was just being a huge jerk. Okay, so we have, you know, officially we're going to have Gebbu finish up this race. He is going to be into that terrain, pretty much maxed out resources, minus that 1 super, but is in good shape to have no issues whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, full resources here after room 1. Should be able to cruise through these Metroid rooms, and again, will not matter going through Baby Skip. Probably take that extra save, and then it'll just be a 4-tank Mother Brain fight. Should be easy street for Gebbu from here on out.
So yeah, interesting. That Metroid 3 room, you can see that little backup that Gebbu did. Running over, having that second Metroid just briefly latching on for a second so that he can stack it with the other one. That is probably the optimal quote-unquote farming strat where you're barely losing time on just supering everything. So Gebbu really showing that he knows how to do the fastest strats in this Turian. And you know what? We're going to see if he can get this Baby Skip. All right, 1 jump, 2 jump, 3, 4,
It's like
5.
a safe 6er here, probably. Maybe not. Yep. Okay.
6. Okay. All right.
Easy game.
Yep. Has to do that for the fans. You know, of course, he has all the time in the world, so he could have just gotten caught if he wants to, but you know, he is gonna have to put he wants to put on that show for us, showing that he can get that baby skip. This is a pride thing, if anything.
Yeah,
And
there's
Gebbu
the
will be
save.
taking that safety save just to ensure nothing really crazy goes on, and he has to start all the way back at that. I don't know if it was the ship that I don't know if he saved at the ship or back in that save in the business center. Oh, okay, so Gebbu not quite getting that down back sub skip. We'll be heading over, popping those Rinkas. Oh, nice try, turret. Not today, turret.
Not today. Ooh, and a little late turret shot there too. You know, Gebbu handling a difficult room well after that first hiccup.
Yep. Gebbu saying not today. That's that turret, and that turret in furious rage, shooting off that last missile. But Gebbu also dodging that turret. No chance. So, Gebbu will be finishing up this Mother Brain 2 fight. Sure, knowing the current results, he's feeling real calm right now. But, you know, with all the viewers right now, he doesn't want to get killed by Mother Brain here. I'm sure that would be a blow to his pride. So, we'll see if he can get through his Mother Brain fight. Taking a little hit right there, but power of 4 tank. Plenty of health to work with. Oh, those onion rings.
Yeah, they've been doing some damage today for sure in the 2 matches that we've seen.
All right, so Mother Brain just kind of staring at Gebbu for a little bit, and then says, "Hey, have this meatball."
All right, and here we go. 15 shots from a trip to the backdoor finals for Gebbu.
Really giving Mother Brain a headache. I mean, Prof, how do you imagine just taking a Spazer ice shot directly to the brain? That's gotta be painful.
Hey, I'll take it over a plasma ice shot.
That's true. Plasma shot being 3 times stronger.
Yeah, Mother Brain always prefers when you run new route.
That's for sure. But firing off of that rainbow beam, getting Gebbu down to that his final health, and being saved by the baby Metroid. So we have some final sad moments of Super Metroid, the most dramatic moments of this match.
But with that, we will have Gebbu going through to the backdoor winner, the backdoor championship. That's Lynx and Sloaters will be playing tomorrow, I believe at 6 p.m. Eastern. Is that right, Eddie?
Yes, that should be 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. We have the winners final going on, and the loser will be playing Gebbu in the losers final matchup. And yeah, that's going to be an exciting one. Final 3, we have Gebbu, Sloaters, Lynx. You know, it's funny how that works out, because in the end, those are the 3 highest personal best times on the Super Metroid leaderboards. Gebbu and Sloaters actually being tied with the exact same PB, and Lynx having that 41, having definitely probably the most, you know, I think most players would say is the most dangerous runner. He is the first seed for a reason. But this is Super Metroid 90%, and as we know, anything can happen.
I have to say, it's quite remarkable, given all of the chaos this tournament has had, for the top 3 personal bests to be the 3 remaining. I mean, in one sense, it doesn't surprise me because it speaks to the consistency of those runners. But if you look at the bracket and some of the wild things that happened, it's actually pretty incredible that that's the final 3 that we've wound up with.
Exactly. I mean, we've had major upsets. We've had, 43, 42 runners taking losses against players that, you would on paper look at that and say, that person probably doesn't stand a chance. But we've seen, big losses, and even, we've seen KPDR make it far into this tournament. KPDR beating PRKD, even on matches where the PRKD runner did not die. We've got all sorts of amazing content from this entire tournament. It's been amazing. And sometimes there's some deaths, and sometimes the players make it all the way to the run and get that upset. So absolutely amazing to see all these runners do as well as they have. So Gebbu getting on with Escape, getting that nice little moonfall. We'll be heading over to the Behemoth Spark room, assuming he goes for that Behemoth Angle Spark. No issue there. And we'll be finishing up the final moments of this game, heading into that parlor, and we'll be going straight to that ship.
Yep, definitely heading straight for the ship.
Oh.
Okay, what are we getting here?
Oh, okay.
I have a feeling.
Psych out. Wanted to actually grab the spark. And Gebbu saving the animals. I would never have thought that we'd see an animal save at this stage of the tournament, but Gebbu putting on a show for all of us runners here and all the viewers.
Yeah, and if you're gonna save him, at least save him with style, right?
I'm sure there's plenty of people in chat that are excited to have seen the save. And Gebbu with his little celebration, jumping up to the sky, and Gebbu finishing in first place with an official racetime.gg of 45 minutes and 11 seconds. Get your GGs in chat for Gebbu.
Wow, GG Gebbu and GG Zmusic having to come back from that intense race against Kip and have to go back to back and nearly pulled it off. Man, with those big swings and just a couple input differences, we could have seen a very, very different outcome. So GG to Zmusic for an incredible run through the redemption bracket of this tournament, just coming up a little bit short in the end.
Absolutely. And see if we can get both these players in the interview. And we have Gebbu and Zmusic live on air with us. Geb, Z, how are you guys doing?
Hello. Doing good, Eddie. GG, Gebbu.
GG, man. It's sad it had to end like that, but I know it happens.
Yeah, Super Metroid.
Yeah.
Super Metroid. Looks like you finished a pretty good run, so nonetheless, excited for you, man. Looking forward to these final races.
Thanks, man. I think we both had the worst early games of our lives that round.
Oh, I don't know. Mine was really bad. I don't know if it was just coming off the last race, if I just needed like a break for a minute there. I just was so zoned out. I wasn't nervous. I just I couldn't really focus. And then I absolutely butchered the moat. And then I'm pretty sure Fantoon was really rough too. So I was really far behind. I noticed you had, I guess you must have messed up the attic or something, and had
I messed up the attic pretty badly.
Oh man, but that kind of helped even it out, and so I got a little bit excited in Lower North there, and then Super Metroid just did its thing, came plummeting.
Yeah, I was finishing Ridley and I watched the restream and I saw you were on an elevator. Super confused. Where is this guy? Is this so far ahead of me? But then I realized oh, okay, yeah,
crazy.
I get what happened. What did you die to?
Well, I mean, to kind of line it up, I took a hit from one of the pirates in worst room in the game, and then I messed up the mock ball in Wastelands at the very end, and I took another hit from the Skiga. And so I had 19 HP. I didn't go for the Kagos. So I had 19 HP going into the Metal Pirates room. And I just ended up shooting slightly too early and I clipped one.
Uh-oh.
And I was super shocked. I thought maybe those guys did 5, 10 HP, but yeah, they do a lot. They do 20 plus. So just instant died. I couldn't really believe it.
Yeah, it's kind of... it kind of sucks like going off that. Like I know you're at a disadvantage too because you had just finished the race with Kip that was like super close. So I imagine you must.
Yeah, it's like you could be
off,
warm.
right?
Yeah, you could like either warm up from it, or sometimes you can just kind of like burn out from doing a race back to back. But I think in this case, I was just a little fatigued. But nonetheless, I mean, a death is a death. It happens.
It does. It does.
Yeah, for sure.
GG, man.
But you know, Z, I gotta say, so this is gonna be the exit from the tournament, but we were talking about how you, of all the players, I think has come out with the absolute most wins of this tournament, getting knocked into that losers early and just destroying everyone along the way, taking home some huge victories to make it all the way to these losers semi. And honestly, I've got to say, you did a fantastic job coming back all the way up here. Definitely like a real little redemption arc. Taking home that victory against Kip in the previous match. Honestly, you've done so well in this tournament, and I think you could say that. Yeah, it's just, yeah, definitely super happy to see you have done so well in this entire tournament.
Thank you, man. Yeah, when I didn't realize the tournament was happening. I took like a 2-year D-Rust, and I started coming back in like a week or two back. They were like, yeah, there's a tournament. So I signed up. I had no expectations. I just wanted to get some races in, you know, finish some runs, have a good time. And I think this exceeded my expectations. So I'm just happy that the whole thing happened, regardless of the outcome. And the way I look at it, I get to sit back now from a third perspective and watch these final matches. So I'm looking really forward to it, and wish Gebbu and the rest of the racers best of luck. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, if I could interject really quickly, I want to take us back to some of the details of that race because in contrast to what happened, Z, in your race with Kip, where all of the mistakes were very small and it was, you know, within 5 or 6 seconds, there were 4 things that happened that caused swings of somewhere between 15 and 30 seconds in that race. And I'd be curious to hear both your and Gebbu's perspective. I've got 4 notes listed here. The Green Pirates did something that happens only about 8% of the time to Gebbu, dropping no missiles, and you had to go back to the Kago. Then we had the moat issue, Z3Xing the moat, being 45 seconds behind on the Fantoon kill time. But then it was the attic for Gebbu, the lava spark for Gebbu with some big hiccups, and then of course, as you described, Z, the death because of the compounded hits throughout Lauren Orfair. But that was just, Gebbu, maybe starting with you, can you give us a sense of what happens early on when you get drops like that and now all of a sudden you're full farming a Kago? What was going through your mind at that moment?
It's just something you never expect to happen. But I think, funny enough, I think the same thing actually happened in my qualifier race. So I should have I should have it at the back of my mind, like it is possible to not get any drops there, but it never happens. So I just did the one farm that I know how to do, is just kill the Kago. So I didn't see any other really strat there.
No, I don't think you had a better way out of it. And following up on that, you had a really, really scary moment in Attic, and you managed to survive despite using pretty much all of your missiles and supers. Was your plan there just to sit and farm that bug afterwards? How did you adjust to that hiccup in Attic?
Yeah, I knew I was going to mess it up because I always mess up Attic when I don't have enough regular missiles, because I left Fantoon with 2 missiles. That's super, super bad. And I do the missile strat where I shoot 3 missiles on the, what are they called? The balls.
Yeah, the atomics.
The atomics.
Yeah, atomics, yeah. So when I don't have enough missiles for that, I usually end up messing up Attic. So I was expecting that, but it ended up being way worse than I thought, because I lost a lot of health at the end there. But I think like the only thing I could do there was just to farm the bugs there before the puddle room or whatever it's called. So I'll just stayed there until I had enough. I was expecting C to be like super far ahead, like be at gravity by that point at least.
Yeah.
But
Way
I was
behind.
yeah, I was yeah, that was surprising to me. I think we both must have had like horrendous.
I can
horrendous early
certainly
games.
relate to that. I'm definitely in that position where you just take a ton of hits, and sometimes you're just down like one health drop to get across bowling, and you end up having to farm the bugs for like 30 seconds just to get enough drops, just to get enough health rather. So I can definitely relate to that. It's an unfortunate situation that just goes on forever, it seems like.
Yeah, it's so slow to farm though. It must be one of the worst farming spots in the entire game. That's actually like meant for farming.
Yeah,
It is so slow.
absolutely.
You never get what you want either. Like if you want health, you get supers. If you want supers, you get health.
Yep.
That's Super Metroid for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to, before I head off here, I was going to get some food here, but I just wanted to thank you guys again for setting this whole thing up. It's been an absolute blast. And I definitely look forward to seeing these matches. And yeah, I don't know. Good luck to the rest of the runners. Make sure you guys follow everybody. Everybody's putting all the hard work in. And I'm not sure, is Sloters and Lynx scheduled a match yet?
Yep, they will be playing tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
And yeah, so the loser of that match will be playing Gebbu tomorrow. Or sorry, not tomorrow. Whenever they're able to schedule that match. That's, I mean, either way, all these runs are going to be very exciting.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Good luck to Gebbu. That's gonna be an incredible match.
Yeah. So
They're not gonna make it easy for you. That's
yeah. I mean, I'm happy with the third place for sure. That's I'm very satisfied with that already. So if I don't make it further, you know, I had a good run for sure. So
yeah, absolutely.
but yeah, I'll try my best and we'll see how it goes, I guess.
Sure. Well, I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna head off here. If you have any more questions for Gebbu, certainly go on. But it's been a blast,
GG.
guys.
Incredible
Thank you,
tournament.
Z.
Incredible tournament.
GG, man.
Appreciate that. Take care, guys.
All right, so Gebbu, with you, we are, you are, as I say, when I hear the name Gebbu, I think of boss music in the background. So you are the winner for today, and you are going to be playing the loser of Lynx and Sloters. Any thoughts on that match? And also want to mention that you are going to be at minimum in the third place point. So at this point, you are in the prize money at this point. So there is a lot at stake for all these matches. Any thoughts coming up ahead on either of those points?
Oh man, I haven't raced either Lynx or Sloters before, so I have no idea. I know I have to go all out versus those guys, for sure. They're not gonna give me a lot of breathing room. So I don't know. I'm just gonna probably just gonna play like I do when I go for PB attempts. I imagine just go all out and hope for the best. I guess that's my game plan for now.
Yep. And then, Prof, you got any final questions you want to ask Gebbu?
No, Gebbu was great. I appreciate you and Z answering all the questions and taking us through the details of that wild race. Really excited to see you competing, and very, very much looking forward to your next race, regardless of who it's against. Good luck with your prep. Get some good rest, and I hope everything goes smoothly for you in the next 48 hours. Can't wait to watch.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, see you guys. Thanks for watching.
Good luck, Gebbu.
Well,
All
Eddie,
right.
it was an incredible 2 hours. I cannot believe what we just saw. That was unreal. Thank you to everyone in chat who hung out with us and made it fun. Eddie, thanks to you for letting me come onto comms at the last minute there. I had a blast. Thank you so much. And holy smokes, follow those runners if you can. Go ahead and follow us on the comms team as well. And I'll turn it over to Eddie to take us home.
Absolutely. So, thanks, Prof, for that those final points. And Everyone, don't forget, this is the SG Live 2021 Super Metroid Any Percent Tournament. We are into the final 3. They have been set. And just to give a quick recap of what we're fighting for, this is a prize pool, a tournament that has a prize pool of $320. And therefore, the first place winner will be getting... yes, the first place winner will come home with $160. Second place winner will be coming home with $96. Third place will be coming home with $64. And the grand prize is a generously donated modded SNES Junior with probably a value of around $200. So we have an excellent final grand prize. Final matches coming up. We have the winners final coming up tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, and most likely we will have the final matches scheduled by this Saturday. So make sure to tune in and cheer on the runners, and we're going to have some amazing runs finishing off this tournament. So that being said, this has been SG Live 2021 Any Percent Tournament between Gebbu and Zmusic, with the winner Gebbu moving on to the losers finals. And yeah, from all of us here at SpeedGaming, including me and Professor School, we will see you next mission.
See you next mission.